I decided I kind of had to start a new account because I thought I'm blocked by so many people to the stage that no one was seeing my post. I couldn't look at that for 2-3 months without punching a wall or anything that was nearby. Like if I saw it in town, I saw it, I'm punching a shop. That was one post.
Quick, short second. Villa got all of it.
I know, and now they're West Brom are like losing every week.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lockdown With episode. And today, I'm here with a very special guest. This guy lives in every football club's head rent-free. Aston Villa, West Brom. He lives up there with them. And if you don't know who he is, it's HRH, or aka, he's Harry as well, which is what I guess you'd like to be known as more than HRH, which is like your online persona, would you say?
Yeah, I have to say, if someone says is it an act, I say it's kind of more of a persona. Like it's just I kind of still associate it with myself, but like it's not like I'm going into like like people go, oh hi, my mum goes, hi HRH, how are you? It doesn't really work like that. So it's just different. Like
Not really.
There's some people who call me that, but that was kind of a nickname before I even did it online. So yeah, I'd say it's more of a persona, to be fair.
So I think we should just get straight into it and just talk about the classic that is Aston Villa's going down.
Oh right, of course.
Straight into it, I'd say. So the start of last season, at the start of the last season, was it last season?
Yes, last season.
Yeah, last season you had a little dig at Villa, and
Yeah.
it's basically what was your first intentions of doing it? Like, where did it even come from?
Well, okay, so we're going back now to I think July 2019. So a lot's changed since then, in every sense of the word. So what I was doing really was I was still winding up a lot of Wolves fans at the time, which I'm sure we might get onto, I don't know. And I tried it because Villa had just got promoted. So I was on Twitter, I thought, let's just have a bit of a laugh. I thought nothing of it. I was actually on holiday in Cornwall. I just thought, here's why Wolves are a bigger club than Aston Villa, like a thread. And I did this rubbish thread of 8 to 9 points as to like why Wolves are better. Like, oh, Wolves have got a nicer coloured kit than Villa. I thought, this is stupid. Hundreds of Villa fans pounced on it. Like, who is this? And all the Wolves fans were going, have you not heard of this guy yet? Trust me, we're as annoyed as him as you are. So they all kind of ganged up. And what I did before, right, the 18-19 season, I made a couple chants on Twitter, like Wolves chants, which received, I did, Katy Perry, California Girls. I did that to a Jao Matinho chant, and as you can imagine, at that point, it wasn't very well received in terms of positivity, but it did okay. So I did a couple of them, and so I kind of thought to myself, I was starting to really dig it at Villa fans in that summer. I thought, what will work brilliantly here is I'll combine the hate of the Wolves and the Villa fans at the minute on Twitter and make a chant towards Aston Villa and see how it goes. I thought, because it's a win-win for me, because it's going to annoy the Villa fans, because if they're doing badly, it will wind them up. But if Villa do quite well and they get top half, it's going to annoy some of these Wolves fans because they're going to see that I did this and they're in the top half. So Villa fans will just use it to bait Wolves fans with it. So I thought, this is foolproof, really. But I thought, what am I going to do? So I kind of was standing in the shower, funnily enough, and I was like listening to a few old school tunes. And one of them that was in my head, all the good tunes, like all the ones from the good times, like 9, 10, 11, 12, back in the day. And one of the ones that was stuck in my head was Jay Sean Down. And I was just going down, in the shower, and I thought, instead of Baby Are You, I thought, the Villa's going, and then Eureka Moment, I'm sure it's what, like, Isaac Newton thought when he, like,
did you actually
found
write the
gravity.
lyrics down, or did you just say them?
Well, I was just, like, one line in the shower, the Villa's going down, 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 Villa's going down, down, down. I thought, right, I got out of the shower. I thought, this was I was at home now. I went into my room. I got up the lyrics on Genius for Jay Sean, and I got a Word document out. And every line, I thought, I'm just going to have a laugh with this. Took about 20 minutes. So when it thought, tonight is the night to let it show, I thought, Premier League's not your level. And then I thought it was quite funny because I wanted to make it so that the words shouldn't rhyme, but they do. Like, I think I said, you ought to know level, slow, and awful.
Even
and
level.
somehow managed to make them all work. So I just basically did that. It took about 20 minutes. And then I thought, okay, I might as well just give this a go, because if I can get this done in 10 minutes...
Did you film it one take?
2. First time,
2 takes.
I did it, it's basically in terms an octave lower, so I kind of sang it lower, because I thought I wouldn't have been able to have sung it higher, but it sounded absolute shit. So this is fine margins in life, right? So I thought I either try it higher, next time. So
Yeah.
like the way it's normally sung, head voice. If that doesn't work, I won't do it. You never know. So I started it again, second take. That was completely off the cuff. Like, will it work? Did it? Uploaded it, and there we go.
We just uploaded straight onto Twitter, and that was it.
Straight away with the hashtag AVFC. I think I just put AVFC official.
AVFC is a
going
brilliant
down.
hashtag.
And then funny thing is, right, this is a little insight. It actually didn't start off too well because I think it was like 2 p.m. on like a Thursday, so no one's really sitting around waiting for what chance in that. But then there's this page on Twitter called AVFC News and Gossip, which has got like 10,000 likes, and what they do. Anything that's got the words Aston Villa on a tweet, they just automatically retweet it because I think they imagine it's a positive news source for them, their 10,000 Villa fans. What they did is uploaded it when it went in Aston Villa going down with like capitals, 5 exclamation marks. Me fucking doing that stupid video for 2 minutes, and then it just caught fire from there. Like people saw it in their timeline and they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
So how many followers did you have at the time then?
Did
you have a small following at the time, or?
I'm trying to think because I had an original account which I worked up to, I think, just over 1,500. But then, so I think it was uploaded on that one first. So in July 2019, but further down the line, 2 to 3 months later, I decided I kind of had to start a new account because I thought I'm blocked by so many people to the stage that no one was seeing my post. Like, do you know there's that site that you look blocked accounts? Who's blocking you?
Oh, it tells you who's blocking you.
It was in the high thousands, and I was like, I don't think there's any Wolves fans left here to see what I'm doing, or Villa fans. So I thought, what I'll do, I'll just start a new account. So I think the first time I posted it was on my old account. It was on 1.5. So, but then obviously when I started a new account, that was practically the first thing I posted. So I started again from like 0 and just went up a little bit.
And then it just blew up, and then it was literally every single game Villa played, he would just respond.
And that's the problem. People said, you need to, like, the Villa fans were getting angry at me. And I was like, don't blame me. I'm powerless if your team win. Like, right now, I can't do anything because you're good. You'll get your team to stop losing and doing ridiculously bad defensive errors, and I won't have anything to do. But I think it was the lockdown period that was, like, the most funny.
Where did the whole Alexa thing come from, of Alexa play that tune?
Here we go. Well, basically, what people don't know, I uploaded it once in July. When they lost their first game to Spurs 3-1, and that's when that was bigger that time than it was the first time I uploaded it. And then I didn't post it at all the way until like late December.
Left it.
And so when I was there, like obviously Christmas adverts, Alexa's getting marketed left, right, centre at Christmas time, innit?
Yeah.
Like Amazon, they've got enough money to advertise everywhere. And there's all them stupid adverts going, Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, turn the lights on outside. So I thought, I was literally just like, because every time I post it, everything I type, I'm gassed myself. And I was like, yeah, they've lost. Because I think they lost twice in a row then. So I just thought, I just randomly typed out, Alexa, for old time's sake, play that fucking tune. Like with like 15 exclamation marks. And then people always, this is the same with a lot of people, you can't coin a catchphrase yourself. It never works. If you sit down and you go, I'm going to make this become like a catchphrase of sorts, it probably won't work because it's normally spurred on by the people who
always
repeat
unplanned.
it. So, and it literally was. You can tell that it clicked. That's why I started abusing it quite a lot, and I still use it now. Because literally, within 5 days, and I was only on 1K at the time, everyone was going, play that tune, Alexa, play that tune. And obviously it just built from there. But I didn't really come up with it. It was just on the whim when I was just typing it out, ready to send it.
Thing is, last night I was talking to my mate. I said that you were coming on the pod. And he just said, Alexa, play that tune. And his Alexa went off and started playing Down by Jay Sean.
You serious?
He actually did. And we were like, what the fuck?
That's uncanny.
We're saying, they were saying, have you got some sort of sponsorship or something with that? Like, is that related to you, or is that just pure luck?
People think that because like Amazon Prime Sport, so like the equivalent of BT Sports or Sky Sports, like reputable sports channels that broadcast the most professional football league in the world, started using my videos. So then everybody thinks I've got some sort of like sponsorship deal with them. They didn't even ask me; they just upload it. So I don't know. I mean, I should really, shouldn't I? To be fair, like
you could cash something from it, definitely.
Well, once during its peak in the middle of July, Aston Villa hadn't even played. This was a utopia. It all went bloody downhill from here. Newcastle lost to Watford, and I think West Ham beat Norwich. So I think Villa were like 7 points adrift with 4 games to play. and so many people started saying, Alexa, play that tune, Alexa, play that tune. It was on top of trending for like an hour or two on Twitter. It's like trending in the West Midlands. Alexa, everyone just
Play
sending
that
it
tune.
over. So yeah, it could have been.
my
It could have been
days.
so perfect. I was at the pit. I thought people were going, you might as well just upload it. It's done. They're down. And I was like, no, I'm holding on. I'm holding on because I've got Palace tomorrow. But no, it did.
Because me and my mate couldn't believe it. We're just talking, and then all of a sudden Alexa just started playing Down by Jay Sean, and we're like, what?
I know. I mean, they might have done it behind my back, but I didn't get any cash. So
Unless, I don't know, because literally just went, Alexa, play that tune, and then Alexa went, okay, Down by Jay Sean.
They might have done that.
Like, it just started.
like I say, if they obviously they know about it.
And then also, after the whole Villa thing, and then Villa got promoted, bear in mind, they were jammy. Like, it wasn't a legit staying up.
Trust me. Trust me.
Did you get some backlash, I'd say?
Some.
When Villa was officially stayed up.
Well, first of all,
Just a tiny bit.
I had two avenues to go down when they stayed up. I thought to myself, because obviously every time it took me 2 to 3 months. Every time I saw the photo, you know, when the Villa goalkeeper fell into his goal with the ball, and everyone, I couldn't look at that for 2-3 months without punching a wall or anything that was nearby. Like, if I saw it in town, I saw it. I'm punching a shop. So that was frustrating. So I could have gone down that avenue at the end and really wound them up and gone, you've cheated, I'm taking you to court or something like that. Like, you for defamation of character. Or I thought, you know what? I always started it as a joke. I never took it that seriously. I'm just going to hold my hands up, be like, fair play, it's over now. Like, West Brom had got promoted, and then they were quick to even the bloody official account was quick to. So I thought, I've got bigger fish to fry next year. They're our proper rivals.
West Brom had I mean, let's get into that as well whilst we're here now. You had Don't You Know, Bump It Up.
Yep.
West Brom's not going up. So you had that,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously they were in the playoffs or something, and you just said they weren't going off, they weren't going to win it.
I was waiting because it looked like a dead cert that West Brom were going to go up all through the season, and I was looking for, because I thought next year I'll just do them, and then they started to bottle it, so I thought, like, they lost to Huddersfield that day, and I was while I was driving to the co-op, because I had to pick up some ice cubes because like, we were making some for the barbecue at home, and I thought it's now or never now, because I thought chances are they're not going up. So in one scenario I do that, I get a bit of a laugh out of it, they don't go up. But then I thought, secondly, and this is true, I thought if they do, because I didn't think they'd go up automatically, but I thought if they do go up through the playoffs, and all the West Brom fans jump on that, it naturally starts the rivalry for next year. Like, it's perfect, because West Brom fans actually quite liked the Villa stuff.
The win-win.
So I always thought, would it be a bit forced if I went, oi, and now I'm turning over to you, West Brom? Yeah, it would have been a little bit like, oh, you're just forcing it. But that just gave me, I thought, if worse comes to worse, okay, I'll get a massive backlash for 2 days. But then
Did you get people saying, going, you're milking it now, or did you get people like that?
In a way, no, because, and I'm not, I made the promo video, I made this all, like, over dramatic, like, promo old KSI style video, and I have to say I'm not, but that was too bloody good for anyone to say I was milking it. Like, I put time into that, I wrote a good voiceover, so I think people just thought it just works, and I think people thought I had a right to do it, because when the official account of West Brom, literally, here's a little fun fact I kind of like to use. Their announcement that they got, you know, when they finally get promoted and they do, we're promoted, and there's like Premier League.
Yeah.
Their we are Premier League announcement got less likes than my chant when they referenced it. So if that doesn't say it all about the type of club
Didn't you delete it or something?
I did, no free clout. They never asked me for permission.
I
thought I'll get enough likes so it's got a bit of notoriety. But they're not getting anything else out of it. So now when you see it, it's like, Alexa, play that tune. It's like, this tweet has been deleted. So yeah, no free clout, I'm afraid, lads. Sorry.
Yeah, because literally as soon as they got promoted, the first thing they did was go straight to you.
Well, I know, I couldn't believe it, because I thought, like, I thought Villa would be far more likely to do it. Like, I thought with West Brom...
You didn't even wind up West Brom that much.
No, it was one post.
Quick, short second. Villa got all of it.
I know, and now they're West Brom are like losing every week, and if Burnley win their game and they're 6 points adrift basically in November. So to be honest with you, the pride before a fall, I guess. I'm going to have a lot of fun when that starts heating up next year. Mark my words.
You made another song for West Brom as well.
Mm-hmm. Well,
down again, wasn't it?
I like to advertise it as a brand new tune, but I kind of found it funny just changing 2 words in the whole song. and just doing West Brom's going down. And to be honest, that's what people wanted anyway. Like, I'll give you a little exclusive. There is another song down the pipeline. Like, it's a long season.
Ooh.
It's 9-10 months. You gotta pace yourself. But I thought for then, I'm just gonna have a laugh. First couple games, I was hoping they lost the first game because then there's that whole and that first team lineup is shocking for them. So I think it just.
I think they actually will go down because they are.
Yes, he might this time.
Shocking team.
Like, surely. I mean, it's kind of like cheating now, isn't it? It's like I was with Villa. I was in a 100-meter race with 7 other competitors, and I was in the lead.
I mean, Villa should have gone down, but they were just jammy.
Yeah, there we go. But to be fair, they did do a decent fight back. So it's like I'm winning the race, and then the runner-up just overtakes me in the last minute, and then it's almost like I'm going, well, I've had enough. I'm just going to run my own race and run it by myself.
I'll give it to them this season, though. I'll give it to them this season. They're doing well so far.
But they are. I mean, Villa are safe, most definitely. I mean, but then looking back, if that kind of works, because then people don't even really refer to last year because they don't like that season. Villa fans really don't like going back to that season, so they don't even use them staying up as much of a source of pleasure anymore because they don't want to go back to losing every week and like just staying up by the edge of their teeth.
I mean, you saw the footage of when they went up, like all the players were acting like they just won the league.
I know. I can't blame them though. To be fair, like especially for like when it's that tight. I remember when Wolves we didn't even beat them. We lost. Like in 2011, Wolves needed to get a decent result on the final day to stay up, and we were 3-0 down to Blackburn, and then we rallied and we lost 3-2, and all the fans bombed onto the pitch. Mick McCarthy was on the mic. I
remember that. Yeah.
It was so. To be fair, I can understand it because there's so much money on the line. There's so much like you can keep your team. The players can keep their jobs, or they won't have a 25% wage reduction. So I kind of understand it. Like, I'd expect that maybe they'll look back at that and think, "Christ, we overdid it a little bit," but you can understand it at the time. To be fair.
Yeah. What do you think of? Well, actually, go. Who do you hate more now? Then, because obviously you've had some stick from both sides now, and obviously you're a Wolves fan, so the initial is West Brom. But is there more hate now to Villa because of? Or you kind of truce with them now, or what?
I never really disliked them. There's a fun fact. Like I didn't really care much about Villa. I only did the chant because they were the closest rivals and they were so easily wound up. And that's what people don't realise. Like with West Brom, naturally, I went to games from the age of 5. You hate West Brom, like closest rivals. But even with Villa, I remember in the 08-09 season when they were like 4th place with like 7 games to play. And ahead of Arsenal, I remember really wanting them to do it. Like, there's never really been that much of a natural clash with Villa. But I think the only reason it sparked up over the last 2 to 3 years, generally between Wolves and Villa fans, is because I think the 4-1 drubbing they gave us at Villa Park, and then them trying to link an investigation towards Mendes. And then when that investigation, there was no wrongdoing, they just signed a Mendes client anyway. I just think that just made a little bit of a rumble. So then obviously I just tried to capitalise on it for a few laughs. But in terms of Villa and West Brom comparison, Villa I don't even dislike that much, although I'm happy if they lose and if they win. But West Brom, bloody hate them. Every Wolves fan despises West Brom. Like, they're just dirty.
I mean, the history's there as well.
100%.
I don't like Villa fans really. They're a bit.
No, I mean, I say last year,
especially on Twitter.
Well, Twitter, yeah. I mean, they're easy to wind up, which is one thing, but I think they maybe view their.
Sorry to any Villa fans listening.
Yeah, sorry lads. I mean, I'm fine with Villa fans now. We get on. I'm in a Villa fan group chat on Twitter, so shout out if any of them are involved. They've added me in. We just have a laugh about it. But I think they do view their club as like it was in the 80s, when in reality they've done nothing since. In all honesty, but. Fair enough. I think every club views themselves as a bit higher than they are. So
I think we should talk about your new adventures of what you're doing at the moment of TikTok, which is, I mean, you've done amazingly well for a month work, pretty much. You started a month ago, would you say?
Yeah, 26th.
I think it's a month today.
It's a month today, month anniversary. Yeah.
A month today, wow! And you've gained 100,000 plus followers in a month, and 4 million plus likes. It's pretty impressive stats. What did you like? What was the initial plan of, right, I'm going to start dancing in my room, jumping about, talking about football theories?
Well, I mean, that's it. I like the way the question's heading there. Basically, I was in.
You played the system brilliantly.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'll open. I'm at university. For those of you who aren't too aware, I'm in my 2nd year, and I'm in Wales, which meant that we had a lockdown earlier than everyone else. So there was like a two-week lockdown, and Wales don't mess about. Like there was stuff online where people are like taping off books, like places that have books and like clothes and that. They were quite strict about it. So I thought, I'm sitting there, I'm like, honest to God, like I'm only going down to uni once a week. All the other time I'm here, literally I can't go anywhere else. I just thought, you know what? Why not just like occupy myself for a couple of weeks, just make a TikTok, have a bit of a laugh with it. See where it goes. Like if I get bored of it, I'll just delete it. Like it was literally just a very spur of the moment thing. I just thought I'll just make a couple of TikToks for a bit of a laugh.
But it just did you literally just play that like the song that you chose and just dance and just did it and then just clicked and just first take sort of
that's
thing?
That's the thing. I saw, because obviously there was a thread on Twitter that did quite, like someone was talking about conspiracy theories, like what's yours? And it did quite well on Twitter, and I thought, well, I'll just use that as a video idea, because there's loads of stuff I could make here. I thought it might get 100 likes. Who knows? Like it could do okay. I just think it couldn't have worked any other time than now, because it just felt very natural doing it. Whereas I think if you look at it, like a lot of people were like, well, that's quite original for like, what's he doing? Like dancing around to that. But for me, because of all the Villa stuff and West Brom stuff, it's literally just been very natural to do it. And I think like understanding what people like, what entertains people online, not being afraid to make yourself look a bit stupid just for the laughs. That's the type of stuff that it's taken 2 to 3 years to probably do. So by the time I like done it, I think obviously how the hell would you expect to land 170k in a month? But I think TikTok is a little bit of a silly app where it's quite easy to go viral anyway. To be honest, there's no chance you could get that on YouTube in a month from zero. It's an absolute impossibility. Unless you're like KSI's mate, there is zero chance you can do that. So I do understand that with TikTok there is a heightened sense of virality in comparison to Twitter.
Still very impressive though.
But like I say, obviously it clicks very quickly. But I think it couldn't have worked last year. It couldn't have worked the year before. So it was the only time I think it would have worked.
But it's like, the thing is, you played the system perfectly. You know, like when you go on TikTok, you've kind of just you got the right idea of what you've got the theme of TikTok right. Like you've probably smashed it with what you like the right thing. You're doing the right thing, and it's working.
I think that's what it is. I mean, like maybe I think part of the charm of it is probably because I don't actually like TikTok. I don't really. I think it's. I mean, my opinion of. I did it because I thought this would be a laugh to do. Like I still thought I'd take part in TikTok, but I just thought normally my conception of TikTok, along with a lot of others, is kind of it's still an app for like kids to dance to. And like I don't really know anyone who does TikTok. I don't know what TikTok videos are really like. So I think what I did was I just made that, and I think it might have just been quite refreshing for people just to see something a little bit different on there. Like, and it's basically just. I think it was a natural transition to move that type of content onto TikTok, because Twitter, the videos going down in the stuff on TikTok, is quite similar in its sense that it is kind of it's combining music, football, a bit of a stupid dance, and a little bit of consistency as well. Like people say, in reality, the last month TikToks are quite easy to make. I'm not going to lie and say it's like I spend hours and hours a day, but you do have to be consistent. Like I've uploaded 3 times a day, 7 days a week for a month. Like you've got to keep. I never get up at 9. I have to actually set an alarm for 10 to 9 in the morning. So I get up and I've got one in the drafts I made. Upload that and go to bed. So yeah, it's been alright. I mean, it is what it is. The only reason I enjoy it, and I log on to TikTok, I make the videos and I log off. I don't really look at what anyone else is doing. So it's not something that I'm obsessed over, or that I'm like, this could be. I just having a laugh with it, and as long as the audience, like the amount of positivity I've received off it's been madness. I didn't expect that.
You gain a new following from it.
Well, that's the thing, innit?
People that might not even know you from the Villas going down or any of the previous work you've done.
Yeah,
it's getting brand new audience.
I mean, it is quite like that. I mean, I've set up I've set up a Discord, and there's like 300, 400 people there, and you like ask them like, what nationality are you? Where are you from? And there's literally every corner like of the world of people who just I love what you do. Like I've got a massive following in Israel for some reason. I don't understand that.
Israel.
I kept getting loads of followers, like people DMing me on Instagram, and much love from Israel, sir. And I did a little joke to one of them. I was like, I'm getting a lot of messages from people from Israel. Like, are there any posters of me up there? Like, and he replied with a very serious answer, going, "Yes, sir. There's a lot of them there. Yeah." It was like,
oh wow.
It was like Christ. And I think there's a few German.
You've got a
fans
statue
as well.
and everything.
That's the thing. I
That's
imagine
cool.
soon, but no, it's just a bit of a laugh. And like I'm fully aware that 1 minute you're there, next minute you're there. No one's gonna care, and I don't really care about that because it's not a vocal point of my life. I'll just go back to I don't even know, to be honest with you. But the day it ends. But for now, I'm just enjoying making the videos and having so many thousands of people just enjoy it. I think it's been a nice progression from Twitter, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, was there a plan in, like, when you first uploaded that first TikTok, was there a plan, I'm going to do 3 videos a day for...
Oh, no chance. Like, literally, I uploaded it, and I thought nothing really... I think I uploaded the first one, and it got, like, 300 likes when I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh, wow, 300 likes. So I thought I'd make another one today, and I'll upload it. And I remember uploading it, and I got in the shower. It's always a shower. Got in the shower, and I thought... When it gets out, I thought, I'll check that. I'll be at... Because sometimes with TikTok, it starts off slow and then it might gain later. So I thought, I might get 10 likes when I'm back. And then I checked it and it was on like 500 in 20 minutes. And then I started thinking, all right, like, people obviously quite like this. And then I kind of have been milking it, but I think as long as you keep it slightly entertaining and you interact with the fans or the people who enjoy your videos, TikTok, you can just keep going on, really. I made 40 bloody videos and one conspiracy theory series. Like, I was doing it 3 times a day. Because then I had a little look. So I thought, obviously, there's a sparkle of something here. And I might as well build it. Like you say, I don't take it too seriously. But if you've got something good, like the saying says, press the iron while it's hot. So I had a little look on people who do TikTok. And people said, the best way to grow a channel or an account, like, upload 3 times a day. Because there's not a possibility, like, there's a chance then that one will at least get on everybody's For You page. And that's what everyone says, you live rent-free on my For You page. But in reality, that's because I upload 3 times a day. So 2 might not. But if you check TikTok every single day, there's a high potential that you're going to get 1. So then I just thought, I might as well do it 3 times a day. Like I said, I was in lockdown. It wasn't like I had anything important to do. And it was a little project. Like, some people really, unfortunately, really struggled during lockdown because of things. But for me, you have something then to think about. And then since lockdown's finished in Wales, because we're in a better situation than everyone else at the minute, I just thought I might as well keep it going because it's obviously brought a lot more positives and negatives as it stands.
I mean, every time I go on TikTok, it's just you. I literally saw you and I was like, wait, is that HRH?
I know.
I was like, is that him?
And the amount of people.
And then my mate said he's on TikTok now, and I was like, what? Hello. And then I followed you, and then literally every time I go on, you're just there, and I was like, but they were good. I mean, I was like, you're literally there. I was like, you smashed it. And I checked, you had like 100 followers when I first followed you, and I went back like the next day, 1,000. I'm like, what? Like, you were growing rapidly. It was like, I was like, fair play.
I think it just suits me, doesn't it? If you look at Villa's going down and you think football, TikTok is still quite, and from what I look at it, because it's still kids dancing. It's quite early stage, and like football on TikTok is vacant. Like, I had a very brief look, and some of the videos are just garbage, just like mine, really. So I thought there's a chance here to like bring what I do on Twitter, bring it onto TikTok. Like, there's a captive audience there because there's no football content, which is why it's always mine just getting really sprayed out. It's everybody every day because there's not much out there at the minute. I mean, eventually there'll be much better people who will take over TikTok and make better football videos. But for now, while it's still at the bottom of the barrel stage, obviously that's where I thrive.
I mean, I've seen a lot of other people now do basically what you're doing, but they're not doing it the same way though. But like, they're not doing this, but it's like a trend now. I've seen a lot of people do it.
I'm fine if people do their own like dances to it. Like, for me, because obviously I'm not a TikToker, and all these people, like, if people give me credit for it on there, I'm totally fine with that. Like, that's fine if you asked me before. But because I'm not a natural TikToker, and all these TikTokers say, it's called a trend. Like, TikTok works in trends. As far as I'm concerned, I'm from like the Twitter community, like the rough streets of Twitter. And like, if you just nick someone else's tweet without credit, you don't get away with it. Like, as far as I'm concerned, as a mark of, if you want to use someone's tweet or completely mug it off, you normally credit people, or at least you should do. But on TikTok, there's almost a little bit of a shamelessness of doing it. And people might say, well, you took something from Twitter and put it on TikTok. But that's different, because that was a tweet and I made it a video. There's people that
made it your own.
There's people that have literally done exactly the same thing. And like, you have to bite your tongue over it, because it's like, what can you do? I mean, it's not you haven't got it copyrighted, have you? As you dance in the bloody room, you gotta get off your high horse. But it's still obviously a little bit frustrating. when people just
Yeah.
completely mug it off, because that's not what I'm used to. Like YouTube, even then, I've done YouTube videos 3-4 years. There's still a degree there of like you can't just mug off someone else's idea, or if you do, it's got to be slightly different to what it was.
You
before.
got to give credit.
Yeah, or else things
Always
don't
give
go
credit.
well for you.
That's the one thing I hate about TikTok is that every time I'm on there, there's always literally people just screen record something off YouTube, post it, and then they gain thousands of, and technically they're gaining money from just posting other people's content, or like I've seen it a lot as well. They'll have a tweet in the background, and they'll just stand in the corner, and the tweet's the funny part, and that's it. And they literally and they get thousands and millions of likes and followers just because they posted someone else's tweet.
I know.
And it's like, and no one gives credit either. I saw someone that there was like a meme or a tweet. It was like a video someone made, and then they literally just put their own watermark over it. When you can see like the person who originally made it put their own watermark, captioned it and everything, all as their own, going, "I've made this," and it. No one everyone was going, "Oh, this is brilliant." I was like, "It's not their footage. It's not like they didn't make this, and they gained everything from it."
It takes the piss. Like I've been doing
So
a few.
frustrating.
I've been doing a few like I tried a few top 8 videos on TikTok just to like keep the content a bit fresh.
Yeah, because you're changing up now, aren't you?
You got to, innit? Like you got to keep it. Like I ended the series first time, and I started again, but I only do it once a day because I want to try out other stuff, because like every trend dies out at some stage, and I'm thinking if I want to keep this going, I want to try and come up with new stuff. And obviously you're going to fail a few more times than you succeed, but it only takes that one good one, and then you've got a series. But I've tried a few top 8s, like, and I went all the way from the 8th to the 1st, and then all the comments I was getting were people going, "Oh, credit to this guy. He goes all the way from 8 to 1 and doesn't do 2 parts." And I was like, what parasite is doing this type of list, like top 8 most earning footballers, and doing a part 2? I'm like, Christ, like you can't do that you couldn't do that on YouTube. You couldn't do that anywhere. Like there's a part of that site. I think there's a lot of people benefiting over more than they really should, or they would anywhere else.
Yeah.
To be honest, but there we go.
When you do your top 8s, the thing that annoys me about TikTok is when they say, "Oh, top 8 most earning footballers."
Yeah.
They get to they'll go 8 to 5, and then just go like for part 2. I'm like,
I didn't even know that, because I obviously don't watch any. You
did the full top 8, and I was like, oh, thank God.
It was only when I saw. It was only when I saw in the comments people going, "Hey, well, credit to you for doing it all in one bar." I was like, "You serious?" I was like,
I was shocked.
Who was doing
I was
this?
like, he's actually done it all in one
I've never seen anyone make these. I want to hunt whoever these people are doing these lists in part 2s.
They literally make 3 videos of a part, like a top 8. They'll make about 3 or 4 videos on the same thing and get thousands of views from it, because that's just the way it works. And just the thing is, but people nowadays, there is like people like you just post the full top 8. That will get more views now, because everyone's like, thank God he's just
that's what you
being
got to
normal.
Do. Like some people, I don't think, like I've had to learn it over 3-4 years of being online. I think some people, they jump too much at, maybe they think too much of themselves, or they'll like sell them. Like I've had loads of people on DMs going, "Can you promote our like car cleaning service on your football theories?" And they'll say, "We'll give you X amount," but like that's just taking, like if I was a viewer,
it's not related.
Yeah, if I was a viewer and I saw that, I'd be like, oh, and like you got to think of the long game. Like as soon as you see someone doing that, like, oh, start promoting everything. It's all right to do sponsorships at times. It's all right to do promotions at times. But it's got to be the right thing, because as soon as you start using sponsorships all the time, you're going to dumb down your content, and you're probably going to lose a substantial amount of your viewer base, because they'll just think, oh, you're just cashing in now. So, but that's on people what you've got to learn, I suppose. Like I say, I think this could only work now, because 16, 17-year-old me would have cashed in as much as I possibly could, would have gone to school, gone to the co-op and like bought everything. But nowadays, because I understand how content works a little bit more, I kind of understand sometimes. Well, sometimes you just got to like turn down things here and there, because it's all about preserving the brand, even though it's furthest thing from it. But you've got to almost, I see it as a brand, like the Twitter and that. I had betting companies and people doing, "Do you want to promote our poker tournament like over lockdown, and we'll give you, And I thought, that's just killing the joke. Like the whole point of it was it's supposed to be some idiot in his bedroom just getting really happy when this happens, like, and posting it and then going away for a week and posting again. Well, as soon as I was like joining this poker tournament, I'm joining in, you're going to go down, down, down at the poker table. You're just going to have loads of people going, piss off. Like, what are you trying to do?
They just call you a sellout or something.
Exactly,
like that,
and it would kill the whole jokes. And the next time I upload it, it's done. It's been watered down to the point it just kills it off. And then, say this season when I bring it back a bit more, it would have been dead in the water anyway.
I think that's what happens with people like Alex from Glasto and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Prime example.
Like when they rinse it so much, like he had that massive, he became massive, and then he did Boohoo Man. He made his own song, but he always wore the same outfit and just milked it too much. And now
it's difficult to do because he was like 16 at the time, if I'm not right, and he was more viral than anyone. He's 10 times more viral than I ever have been at the most viral stage. Like he was literally getting shared everywhere. So obviously, and then I bet he was getting offered serious money, like I'd say in the thousands potentially. And then it's a case of how can you turn that down? Like it must have been so difficult to do because obviously there's that peak after Glastonbury. But things
and he was
are
16 as well.
So
I think any 16-year-old wouldn't say no to that.
No, you can't, can you? I mean, how cool is that? I mean, the song was a mistake. I think that was when it started to, because then I think he stopped. He's not on Twitter anymore or something because I think the song kind of made a lot of people go, "You're taking the like." But it's difficult to find the fine line between it. To be honest with you, it takes. I think
the song was called Alex from Glasgow.
It was shocking.
Like
it was.
that.
I mean, I don't like grime anyway, but that was. I listened to it for a minute, turned it off. I thought I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I know there was a bit of a resurgence when Thiago Silva signed for Chelsea. And he's still well known, but like it's just difficult to find that fine line, especially when you're him. Like you were just going to a festival with your mates, you're a fan of Dave, you're on stage. It's all it's 0 to 100 so quickly. Like no one expects that.
He just went from being in the crowd to being the biggest thing in the world,
and
right
then
there and then.
It initiates a debate like about building your own audience. Like you can easily get a shout out from somebody. It's happened loads of times on YouTube, on everything. Some big YouTuber or personality or celebrity gives someone a shout out and they're almost taken under the wing of them. But if you haven't built up your own foundation and your own audience, it's going to run out eventually because he was pretty much reliant on Dave in the song. So it wasn't as if sometimes the best way is to slowly but surely build something up, 2-3 years maybe, so you've got your own audience base, and then if these things happen, then it's more sustainable. But it's very difficult because he wasn't going to turn any of that down. But then it's just a prime example sometimes of when people deemed you've sold out and then it's all over before it started. So it's tricky.
I mean, you've balanced it well because you had the Villa going down and then you started doing the West Brom. But then, like I said, you moved over to TikTok. You've kind of carried the momentum, and you've built it.
I mean, a lot of it is like I say, I didn't intend for TikTok to go viral. Didn't really intend for the Villa chant to have lasted a whole year, to be honest with you, and to have been, and then for West Brom to have like miraculously gone up. I mean, it is all through trial and error, and it's all just a hobby. It's not like I sit there and strategically plan anything out. It's just something that I find funny. I know if I'm entertaining people, then that's a win for me because that's what I enjoy doing. I've always liked doing that from when I was very young. So that's what I do, and like I say, you just got to gain a general consensus of your audience or people, and like what do they want. Like you got to sometimes be prepared to be patient. I've been patient on Twitter, and Twitter might be dead for, but I don't know. But I just think I'll take a couple months breaks at a time. People don't want to see me every day. They just want to see it at the right times. So then that's probably why the Villa chant stayed like it did for let's say a year, because it was timed right so that I wasn't taking the piss with it. It was just only ever when Villa lost or when West Brom conceded a goal. So it's just momentum, but it's difficult. Like I say, it's difficult to predict what works a lot of the time. You just got to use trial and error.
Another question would be I think it's kind of like a brand with you now is the polo shirt, as in it's kind of an iconic thing with you for some reason. What is the story of that?
I did detect that. Like with TikTok, because I made like 4 in the first 2 days, and I don't wear a new shirt every day. So then there was just a load of comments going, "This guy only has one shirt." So I thought, fair enough. I'll make it look like that's the only thing I own. So I'd just be in a different clothes, and then when it came to film, I'd just change, put the shirt on, film it, take it off, put it back on, edit, and put it in the drafts or something. So I kept it going for ages, and it works. Like I say, I wear different clothes for different series, and it's just a laugh. I've always wore Fred Perry for years, so it's just I always wear it naturally. So it's naturally in my videos. But it's been quite funny. I might try and get like a personalised one, and see if I can shift a few. I told you about if Villa had gone down, because I have a private Twitter account and I wanted to get a general consensus. I said, if Villa go down, would any of you be interested in buying Alexa Play That Tune mugs? And there were like 50, 60 people going, fuck yeah, I'd pay 5, 6, 7 quid for that, no problem. So I was already like, I was ready, especially when there were 7 points adrift. I was ready to order like 100 mugs. And what I was going to do is I was going to have a real laugh for 2-3 weeks. I was going to insure my mum's car. I was going to get a personalised number plate, which cost like 170 quid of HRH on it. And I was going to drive up and down the country delivering Alexa Play That Tune mugs. How good would that have been? I was so ready to do it.
That would have been amazing.
I designed it. I got someone who knows how to design like stuff like that, embroidery and that. And he had it looking sick, like a real joke. Like there was one stage where it was like the Premier League logo and Villa, and there was like an X over Villa's logo. It was going to be superb. And my finger was hovering over the order button to get 100 mugs ordered in as a primary. And I was thinking I'll sell the first 100 and I'll just keep going. A little summer job. Unfortunately, it never quite materialised. But what could have been, eh? Driving up to people's houses, dropping mugs.
You kind of do something with West Brom if they go down. Could that possibly work?
Well, you just got. I mean, that will be nearer the time. I mean, we don't even know if football might have a pause again. I mean, it was mental last year. It kind of worked for me with the joke because there was a game every 3 days. We're losing every time, and no one was at the grounds, so everyone was just on Twitter anyway. So it works. But as it stands, I mean, you just gotta. I've got no real plans. Like I say, I've got like a chant. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I say, I've got TikTok now. So I've got, if none of it works, and I'll just, I don't know, I'll take up badminton or something. There's no pressure, is it really? I've got no kids to feed. It's just me. So if it's a laugh, it's a laugh.
Another question would be, is that if you didn't support Wolves, who would you support?
That's a great question. I mean, with my dad, there wouldn't have been any possible way unless I would have been put up for adoption. So it would have been difficult. I kind of liked Arsenal because I liked Thierry Henry when I was a kid. I quite liked Chelsea because I think they were the best team on FIFA 06. So I used to play that a lot, and I'd always play as Chelsea. And Hernan Crespo would score 3-4 goals every game. So it probably would have been either of those two. I mean, I'm in a difficult position because people say support your local. Right? My local club's a place called Banbury United. Right? Their stadium's called the Banbury Plant Hire Community Stadium. It's got a capacity of like 300 people. And once a game was abandoned because one of the Banbury fans lobbed a glass bottle at the ref. So that's the type of standard of football that that I'll be entering. I mean, other than that, it's Northampton Town, Oxford United, Oxford City, or Brackley. Like, I didn't have many options. So fortunately, my dad was a Wolves fan, so there was never any choice to start with, to be honest.
So is he from Wolverhampton then, or?
No, no, he's from Banbury as well, London Banbury area.
So how is he?
He did.
Yeah.
We watched this show. There was this. I don't know it off by the actual name, but there was this football show in the 70s. Like, I think on ITV that would like show all the highlights, and I think Wolves were in the first division then. So I think he just naturally congregated towards themselves. Must have been when he was 12, 13.
Yeah.
And then to be fair to him, he's not because he went home and away. I think for about 15 years, and then obviously and then I started going with him to just the home games. We had a season ticket for 7-8 years. So like some people think, and I used to get a bit annoyed at it, but now if it ever came back to me, I'll just play it up because I'm a bit older and I know it more, so I just take the piss more. But people kind of assume that I just rocked up in like 2017-18. I was like an Arsenal fan, and I just started randomly being a Wolves fan. Like, in reality, and I think there was even a question earlier, someone put, where were you in League One? I was in the bloody North Bank watching every bloody game. I saw us play Coventry City. We drew to them. They didn't even have their own stadium. It was tipping it down with rain. Everyone was in a miserable mood. Like, a year before we were taking on, City United in the Prem. I've been there. With my dad, I've been there from the age of 5. I had a season ticket for 7-8 years. Like, I didn't just randomly think to myself one day, I might support Wolves now because they've got Neves in the team. That's totally away. But if anyone ever tried to bring that back onto me in the future, I'd just completely milk it and just pretend I was a United fan before.
Maybe I might have to move on to the fan question because obviously that was one of the fan questions that said, where were you in League One? I didn't understand that, as in, were they on the perspective of you've only just showed up now as a Wolves fan? Is that what they're getting at, I assume?
It's minimal now because, I mean, if you know, I used to present a Wolves fan channel, and because I wasn't going to games all the time then because of school and that, I do like reviews always at home. And then obviously because I was there, I didn't take it very seriously. I just thought I'm just going to almost parody a fan channel and just come up with the most ridiculously stupid comments just to build a bit of traction about like who's this knob. I didn't have anything to lose. It's not like I live in Birmingham, so I wasn't at threat of getting punched really. So I thought I'll just completely be on the wind up. But then I think what happened was that because it was always me just in my room reviewing games and ranting, it created a very natural image that I'm just there just to milk off Nuno and Wolves and that, which I totally get. But and I think what annoyed people more was that they didn't want to accept the truth. Like sometimes when I used to be more vocal on Twitter, some fans would challenge it, and I just show them evidence that I wasn't, and that really annoyed them because I think they really, especially in the early days, they got a kick out of thinking he can't be one of us. He hasn't got a Wolverhampton accent. He doesn't go to games. He's not a Wolves fan. So when I showed them photos of me at games when I was younger and games when I was there like months before, then they just still say I wasn't because they'd just be really frustrated. They'd be like, "Oh crap, he actually is. He actually is a Wolves fan. He represents us."
Wait, he's not a Wolves fan. Oh, he is.
No, imagine seeing the photos on Twitter, like being at work at lunch, shaking like fucking twat. He actually is.
I mean, I was kind of the same as in, I'm not from Wolverhampton, but I mean, I live like half an hour away. But I mean, I grew up in Spain, so every time I come over to England for like Christmas or Easter to see my grandparents, I would always go to a Wolves game. That was like the thing. Always go to a Wolves game, which is
exactly
where I started. I mean, yeah.
I mean, Wolves is that type of club still because number one, because the stadium's so close to the city centre.
Yeah.
Number two, because Wolves have mostly in their recent 50-60 year history been crap, and number three, because it's almost like a one city club, isn't it? Really, there's still a real local community sense. Like I think it was almost in spite of the club's success in the last 2 years, a lot of fans still get quite defensive over like anyone potentially touristy coming over for a game, or any fan who hasn't got like a Wolverhampton accent on the camera and that. So it just is what it is. I mean, Wolves, we've got to change with the times now because it's looking increasingly likely that this club's going to build and grow and improve.
It looks like there's going
to be a lot of international fans. It's almost, and unfortunately that's modern football. I'm not too opinionated on it. Some people really are, that they hate it when like there's corporate tickets and that. I think it's a business at the end of the day. The Premier League's a business. You've got to deal with it. Yep. If you want the good players, if you want the Portuguese internationals, and if you want to be linked with all these great players and have the pitch brilliant, the facilities brilliant, that's all part and parcel of it. If you're a more global club, you're a bigger entity, and therefore there's going to be more commercialism involved. So I almost pounced on that because I didn't care really what I did on the fan channel. But people would always say, if you don't go to games and you haven't got a Wolves accent, you can't be a fan. So obviously I started to play into the hands of that and just take the piss, which I should have done earlier, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. It is what it is, with a lot of fan bases, really, especially Premier League ones.
We've got another question here from WWFC_Adam, who says, how does it feel living rent-free in rivals' heads? I mean, you kind of already touched upon it, but...
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I say, I've always naturally, from a very early age, just been... I suppose some people have good talents, like they're good at, like, being good at actual stuff that's productive, like they might be good at plumbing, or they might be good at sport, or my talent, I suppose, is winding people up. It's always just been something that I've had a natural aura for. Just winding up mates from the age of 4 or 5, winding up like family members and that. So I think it just naturally, I think, and somebody summed up really well once. I had a really good chat with somebody who was actually quite positive about a year and a half ago, and he was like, "Oh, I like what you do. You make me laugh." And we got talking. And then we addressed that. I was like, how I seem to get wound up. So many people get wound up. And then he just said, bearing in mind he was really nice, all like half an hour, he just went, maybe it's just because you've got a really punchable face. And I was like, oh, wow. It wasn't even coming from someone who didn't like me. I was like, I'm
just saying it.
Really?
Wow.
So we just got a really punchable face.
Have you ever had any like experience with like people on the street? Like you walked on the street and someone's gone, like a Villa fan's gone, oi, you, HRH.
No, it's what a surprise. I mean, this is why I don't even take any of the hate seriously. It's all very miraculously always been positive. And it's not been all the time, like, let's be honest, but especially during, like, this year, it's started, like, it's Wolves fans or just football fans all just identify me. It's always positive. Like, I think even there was a Villa fan who I used to work with who, like, saw me in the pub about 3 months ago. And he was going, "Oh, I loved it. It was just a laugh." I was like, "I bet you didn't. Let's be honest. I bet you were one of the Twitter accounts really like DMing me really." But people just in person, they're completely different, and I totally get that. I've been the same. I used to when I was a bit younger. Like, just you can say stuff about people because you know you're not going to get a response back. So, but then you've got to take it all with a pinch of salt. Like a lot of comments online, people don't realise. I understand why hate gets to people, and why it affects people more. But you've got to reality. Twitter's more of a game sometimes, and so there's nothing social about Twitter. Twitter's not social media. A lot of the time, it's just aliases who are just trying to bag a few likes or try and
That's what social media is, though, isn't it? Everyone's always it's keyboard warriors. That's all it is. I mean, everyone says it. Then you meet them in person, and they'll be, "Oh, you're right, mate. Big fan of your work." Even though online I hate you, in real life I like the sound.
That's it. It is what it is. It's a game mostly, and you've got to take every criticism with a pinch of salt, really. Especially when you're winding them up, you can't get too offended. Like people say, how could I get that offended at people firing back when I'm in the face going, "You're going down, you're rubbish, you're going down." And then if someone comes back to me like you virgin, I'll be like, oh, get off me. Like it is what it is. It's a two-way street. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But, some people obviously it affects them more, which is totally fine.
Do you have any like social media like influence, as in like someone influence you to be like how you are, like to be your online persona, or is it just all just off the top of the head sort of thing?
I mean, in terms of I when I was younger, this is so generic, but I think I just loved KSI when he was, back in the old days, the good old days when he was at his best, the FIFA funnies, the Get Hyper, to the point of me and my friends at school, we could quote most videos word for word. We'd just be obsessed. And he wasn't necessarily the best influence for some of the jokes. I think I grew up about 5 years from when I didn't watch his first video to when I finally watched it when I was like 10. Because I stumbled on him when he was on like 80k. So I was far less innocent after watching that first KSI video. So I suppose that, but like I say, I mean, maybe even like watching fan channels when I was younger, just laughing at the rants and that. Mark Goldbridge, potentially. I've been on his channel. And we've had a couple riffs in the past, but I can understand why.
You've done a collab with Mark Goldbridge.
I was on his channel doing like a Wolves preview about 2 years ago, and then I did a video on Twitter. I don't know if you'd remember. I did one when Bury Football Club were going under, and I blamed United for killing them off. And naturally, I don't think he was like he retweeted me and he was having a go. But I was just on the wind up. But people like him, like I think there's an era of that. But in reality, I think. Potentially, I don't know if there's many big influences. I don't even watch too much YouTube, like YouTubers. When I'm on YouTube, it's normally on Sky Sports Football and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Watching like stuff like that, or going on Footballia, which is like a site you can watch all the games. But in terms of YouTubers, I don't really watch many. I used to like Memeless when I was younger, but I wouldn't say he was an influence. It was just somebody I just enjoyed watching.
We're having the quick fire round. Quick fire questions. We've only got 6. Big.
Do I have to be quick, like fire it straight back at you?
The first thing that comes to your head. They just go.
Right, fair enough.
You ready? Warmed up. Get the stretching on.
Yes, very ready.
Right, so the first question is Xbox or PlayStation?
I'd say PlayStation, and that's my quickfire thing. I haven't had I didn't have a PS4. I'm definitely not getting a PS5. When I was a kid, I'd play FIFA, GTA. That would be it. And you can play either of them on either console, so I don't really have a massive opinion. But I play FM, and that's on the PC, so that's all I use.
So what did you have as a kid then? Xbox or?
No, I mean it was always PlayStation. Like the first thing I used was a PS2, and then obviously the Nintendo DS, and then iPod Touch, and then PS3 I used a lot. But like I say, I mean PS4. The only times I'd ever use it is when I'm around other people's. I never really liked Call of Duty, stuff like that. Some people do. I never liked shooter games. It just didn't interest me. I only liked playing GTA and FIFA. And then as soon as I was 13, 14, when I discovered Football Manager, in my opinion, is 10 times better than FIFA ever was, then naturally...
more in depth.
I've wasted half my life playing that.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't fall into the trap of FM. It's incredibly good. But the amount of years I could reclaim back on my life when I'm dead.
Just spend hours on that game.
In 10, 11 years. I'll be playing it when I'm 80. I just know it. Like, there's no escapism from that game whatsoever. I'll probably play it later.
The next question is Android or iPhone?
iPhone, personally. I've used both. They both have their benefits, but iPhone.
I would say iPhone as well. I can't be dealing with... Well, I've had like the tablets, like the BTEC, the iPads and stuff. Had them in the past. Yeah. But iPhone just...
Never again.
The next question is celebrity crush, current and all time.
That's a good one. I mean, I like Ariana Grande personally. I don't know about anyone else. I think she's all right. She'll do. When I was younger, When I was younger, right, watching The X Factor, I used to like Cheryl Cole. And she must have been like 20 years older than I was. So I don't know how that would have worked. Cheryl Cole and HRH. But then to be fair, she's with Liam Payne. So, you know.
I don't think she's anymore.
No, well, she's had about 55, hasn't she?
Yeah,
about 7 years. She's had her surname changed 54 times. So that's how you keep track. But no, I used to have a crush on her when I was younger. Cannot lie to you.
I mean, Ariana Grande is my one as well. I mean, I think Finn said the same thing.
Fair enough.
I think
there we go. There's a queue. There's a queue. You have to go in line.
Queue. Right. The next one is favorite fast food.
That's a great one. I have to say, sometimes you fancy different things if you get me. But if I had to choose one, I'd say KFC. To be honest with you, KFC never lets me down. I mean, it lets other people down, but I like KFC. But I'm a fan of all fast foods. I like Domino's, although that's a little bit too expensive at times.
Yeah.
McDonald's. My first ever part-time job when I was 16 was working there. The amount of anecdotes I'd have about that experience. So I kind of got put off eating McDonald's for 2 years because when you're working around the food, the last thing you want to do is just eat it in your downtime. But then I've got back into that.
You also have on your breaks, don't you? You have on your breaks, innit?
I know, and it sounds like the greatest idea of all time when you start the job. But there's only so many quarter pounders you can have in a week before you just want to throw it at the wall.
Another question here, which is favourite Wolves player current and of all time.
I mean, for me, like when I think about my favourite players, they don't always have to be the best, do they? So, like for me, of all time, I'll say all time first. There is a tie potentially between Sylvan Ebanks-Blake and George Elokobi. There's something about George Elokobi I loved. Like for me, he was like so. I mean, he was okay. He was like championship standard, potentially at his best. But it was just his passion and like. He kind of had no right playing in some of those games, like against United, Chelsea, Rooney, Drogba. But the best thing is he always turned up in those games. Yeah. Like he's still contesting that second goal against United to this day with Kevin Doyle. Like it's just he had so much bloody passion, and then he did that little dance when he scored against United. And Ebanks-Blake for the sole purpose that when I was a kid, my first experiences, first season tickets at Wolves, you know for a fact he'd score every bloody game. And then they would be on the tunnel with that song go da 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 da, and everyone's like Sylvan Ebanks-Blake. So he's one of my favourites. I'd say right now it's difficult because it changes often. I would probably have to go. That's a great question. I'd say I've always been a fan of Neves.
Yeah,
Neves purposely because that goal against Derby was. I haven't experienced anything like that. Like I mean, that was during the World Cup. Was that? I wasn't there. I was watching it at the television, but I shuttered the house down. I mean, that was during the World Cup with England and that, and even that didn't compete when I saw that goal go in. I think it was just for the fans. That was a watershed moment of we're in business now. That goal, Wolves have never done anything like that. I mean, we obviously scored goals, but when Neves did that was so emotional. I was like emotional after that because I thought this is a player we've never had a right to have scoring a goal that we've never had a right to see.
He doesn't score goals like that now, as in he doesn't score as often as he did in the Championship.
It's the football. Because the Championship footballs are like mitre balls, and he used them in the FA Cup a couple of times. Yeah, because they're basically like five-a-side, like just blasting it left, right, centre in the goal. Whereas these Nike ones are like obviously just don't work for him. But I love him. I mean, I can name 7 or 8, and I like them the same. But I'd just say Neves edges is it, just because I just like his style of play. I used to, one of my favourite ever players is Zidane. Yeah. So I suppose that's the correlation, to be fair to you.
I mean, for me, I would say all time it's got to be either Billie, or I used to like Dicko a lot.
Newer Dicko. I liked the chants.
Yeah.
Dicko Sacco.
Yeah. I used to go to the games. I just used to love watching Dicko for that. I don't know why. I think what annoyed me as well is that he was a small player and everyone used to cross the ball to him and he wouldn't be able to reach it.
That's just League One, isn't it? The League One Championship days.
I never understood why. I was like, why are they crossing it to him? And he would literally the ball go over his head. I used to love Dicko, and then right now I have to say probably Cody because he's just a character.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely in my top 3 as well. Bang on.
There's a lot of players I like. I pretty much like everyone on the Wolves team. I don't think anyone that I'm just not a fan of.
Well, there's no one you're not going to like.
Everyone's kind of sound.
Someone who just
everyone's kind of sound.
Running people over on his way to the stadium and that. Like they're all very easy to like at the minute, aren't they? Bakary Sacco nearly ran me over once. Fun facts.
Really?
we turn up. The League One days were. The League One season was fun in the sense that we were winning every week, and like there was because we'd had 3-4 years of basically never winning, and then we were winning. But we turn up especially early for this game because my dad liked to go to the pub with his mates and they'd play cards for 3 hours, and I used to be like, "Can I join in?" And they were like, because it was gambling, they were like, "Not really," and you probably don't know how to play. So I'll just sit on my phone for 3 hours and waiting for us to go to the ground. But we were walking on our way to the Asda, and this like thing came along. My dad's like, "Out of the way," licked it into the pavement, and this Ferrari like rages past me, and they were like, "That was Bakary Sacco." I was like, "He nearly ran me over." I could have been killed by Bakary Sacco.
Would have been a way to go.
What a timely death. No one would ever have known HRH because he was killed by Bakary Sacco by the Asda, by the stadium. He was obviously late to training or something, or late to meet up with Kenny, so he raged on the pedals. But
got another fan question here from BigDong_21.
Okay.
And his question: can you make a blues song because they all seem to make the teams play well?
Oh, I might do. I don't know. I mean, are West Brom playing that well at the minute? I'm not too sure. And like I said, I referenced it earlier. I don't think Villa fans want me to revisit that either because they don't look back at last season as great anyway. They see their team last year compared to this year, and they've been like, "Oh, we don't want him to do that again." So I don't know, mate. I mean, you've got to be good first. Like you've got to get in the Prem first, and that's not looking likely for the next 50, 60 years.
You don't get the HRH Classic until you're in the Prem.
I mean, I've said to them they're exempt. Like my favourite artist, music is Mike Skinner from the Streets, like number one, and he's a Birmingham fan. So I did post on Twitter once, "You guys are exempt because of Mike Skinner," but you never ever know if they go up next year, I might not be able to resist. So who knows? But sorry, lad, not yet.
Not being funny, but I don't think. I mean, if they do get it, fair play. I mean, I don't really have anything against Birmingham, weirdly, because they kind of they don't really do much.
They've got a nice shopping centre, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
The boring.
I don't really have anything against them, but like I said, if they did come and they started chatting, I'm gonna have to get an HRH song out. The Blues are going down, down.
It just works, doesn't it? Just don't even have to come up with a new chant. Just recycle it.
Recycled Down by Jay Sean. Yeah. I think that'll wrap it up nicely, to be fair.
I think so.
So thank you very much, Harry, for coming on. It means a lot.
Pleasure to be on.
Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for new episodes of Lockdown. Thing is, the name kind of works, you see, because it's like lockdown because we're in lockdown.
Oh wow, I know, that's a good thought.
Because you're locked down with a person, like you're locked down talking to him.
Oh right.
Double meaning.
I thought at the start you were going to say it's a great name. I've called it Lockdown because we're in lockdown. I was like, whoa.
Because I was trying to think of a name of it. I was like, what can I call it? And then I was like, Lockdown because we're in lockdown. But I thought, oh, that won't work when we're out of lockdown. But I was thinking, oh, but if we're out of lockdown, we can just say you're locked down with that person, so it kind of works it works no matter what.
You're locked down.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you.
CBA, never say